Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Money Means Business. My name is Ahmed. And tonight we're going to focus on the participation of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi at the World Economic Forum, which took place in Davos, Switzerland, and his efforts and the efforts of the political leadership to be gaining more attraction for the potential investors to be coming and pumping more investments into the Egyptian economy for the future, and of course the activities of His Excellency during his participation in the World Economic Forum in Switzerland. And I'm honored to be having with me in the studio for tonight to be shedding more light on such an important topic, Dr. Mongi Ali Badr, the Minister Plenipotentiary and the board member of the UN Association of Egypt. Dr. Mongi, thank you very much for being with us tonight.
It's my pleasure and the honor for you. Good evening for you and your viewers.
The pleasure is all mine. Of course, speaking of today and the main activities of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi is celebrating and attending the celebration of the 74th anniversary of the Police Day. Of course, maybe in a couple of hours we will be celebrating the 25th of January anniversary, once again celebrating the Police Day, the 74th anniversary. How did he see the importance of such a celebration for today and the attendance of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and honoring the names of the martyrs of the police?
Yeah, in fact, Police Day, it's very honored day for police people and also for Egyptian people. 72 years since our police defend Ismailia station, and in the meantime, His Excellency Mr. President, his participation in this Police Day mentioned to us many important points. If you follow the speech of His Excellency Mr. President, he spoke from his heart. Yes. And in fact he gave a very positive message to Egyptian society, and in the meantime he warned about the negative effect of IT and AI. So let me read in very briefly what His Excellency mentioned in Police Day.
Yes.
He mentions that we completely and firmly reject any attempt to displace Palestinians and end their cause. And Mr. President warns that forcing people of Gaza out of Gaza will lead to 100,000 moving to Europe and to the West countries.
Yes.
This number one. Number two, he added, His Excellency President, that he mentions that he calls for full implementation of Sharm el-Sheikh agreement and an immediate rebuilding or reconstruction of Gaza Strip. In the meantime, he added that Egypt will not allow any attempt to divide countries in the region or to take part of their land. So this it's an indirect message to some countries. Mr. President, he added that Egypt is strong barriers against illegal migration, and we will not use this issue for bargaining. And this is very important. We are implementing our duties toward EU countries, and in the meantime we host our guests from Arab countries without requesting any money from
10 million.
Yes, 10 million, and we didn't request for any grant, any help or any financial help from European countries. His Excellency adding very important point. He mentioned that protecting our children from danger of technology is very necessary, and Egypt is studying other countries' experience. Now, if you listen to seminars or conference about IT and AI, that you can notice that around 60 or 70% from the talks around the negative aspect of IT and AI.
Yes.
And in fact, many that we should protect our children. Mr. President, he warns about the danger of artificial intelligence and manipulation, and he mentioned we need to have laws to protect young people. Let me add the last point, which I think it's very important, that Egypt is for everyone, and regardless of their beliefs, and no one has the right to judge other related the faith. Okay, so Mr. President, he put a frame for the new government, coming government, and also for the parliament, that he should, and parliament should discuss in details laws which protect our children and our teenage from the side effect of IT and AI. And I think this, it's the first instruction to the new government and to the new parliament. I think they are going to take this message, and we are going in coming days to listen new laws and new decrees about this very important point. In the meantime,
Yes.
I don't want to mention the negative side and AI. I should mention that there are a lot of positive things for IT and AI. One of them, only one,
Yes.
that our GDP, if we are going to use AI and IT very positively, our GDP will increase by around 20% by the end of 2030. Also, our sectors in industry, logistics, agriculture, even tourism, these sectors, its revenue will increase by a percentage between 15% to 20%. So this what I mentioned now, it's the positive side of IT and AI, and we should maximize the positive side and to minimize the negative of IT and AI.
Yes, and exactly focusing on the positive side of the Davos World Economic Forum and the participation of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi over the past few days. From the 19th until the 23rd, the World Economic Forum took place, and it was conducted in Davos. It only concluded its activities on Friday with the participation of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, and the address of the President took place on Wednesday. So we'll be shedding more light on the importance of such a visit and such a participation in the upcoming report, as President al-Sisi spoke about the importance of the implementation of the economic reform programs that took place here in Egypt for the past decade, and the activities of President al-Sisi, including his meeting with the CEO and the President of the World Economic Forum, Borg Brenda. We'll be having more details in the upcoming report, so stay tuned.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said Egypt has continued to implement its ambitious economic reform program despite regional and international crises, underscoring the country's commitment to stability, growth and investor confidence. El-Sisi made the remarks during a special dialogue session at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, attended by heads of state and senior international officials. President El-Sisi noted that Egypt adopted a comprehensive package of measures aimed to control the country's fiscal and monetary policies, restore investor confidence, develop the legislative environment governing investment, and provide attractive incentives for investors. The President said Egypt has given special priority to strengthening the role of the private sector as an indispensable partner in economic growth and development. As part of this approach, the state set cap government investment and launched a structured plan for the state's gradual exit from certain economic activities, allowing greater space for private sector participation. He added that Egypt's reform trajectory has received broad praise from international financial institutions, particularly the International Monetary Fund, as well as upgrades from global credit rating agencies. President El-Sisi reaffirmed that Egypt will continue its reform path, including the full implementation of the state ownership policy document, which defines the framework governing state-owned enterprises. President El-Sisi also held talks in Davos with World Economic Forum President and CEO Mongi, focusing on global cooperation, regional stability, and Egypt's economic prospects. During the meeting, President el-Sisi expressed appreciation for the World Economic Forum's role as a high-level global platform that brings together political leaders, senior officials, and major private sector to exchange views and coordinate responses to shared international challenges. He said the forum contributes to advancing inclusive development and praised this year's agenda for addressing urgent issues that highlight the need for deeper international cooperation amid rapid global changes. For his part, World Economic Forum President and CEO Mongi welcomed President el-Sisi's participation in the forum, noting that the World Economic Forum has allocated a dedicated session for Egypt to outline its vision for addressing Middle East challenges and efforts to restore regional peace and security. Brenda also commended Egypt's role and that of the President personally in supporting regional stability. The World Economic Forum's chief executive said he looked forward to continued coordination with the Egyptian government across a range of areas to support economic development, boost growth rates, and attract investment, citing opportunities in the Egyptian market.
Welcome back. You're still watching Money Means Business, and as I mentioned, I'm honored to be having with me in the studio for tonight Dr. Mongi Ali Badr. Thank you very much once again for being with us tonight on Nile TV International and Money Means Business, speaking about the activities of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, and his meeting with the top global leaders from around the world, and specifically the U.S. President. How do you see the importance of the activities of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi at the World Economic Forum for the benefit of Egypt and for the benefit of the Middle East and the globe as well, after meeting the American President?
In fact, it's a very good point which you mentioned, that one of the meeting, it was with the American President, Mr. Donald Trump, and also His Excellency, Mr. President el-Sisi. He met also 70 worldwide Egyptian business people. Yes. And also His Excellency, he met many in Davos Forum during 2 days in Davos. Let us go back to refresh the mind of our viewers to mention that Davos was established 1971. Till now, every year they have this forum. This forum, we consider it as a link between decision makers and business sectors. In this forum, we discuss the best ways to explore the natural and the human resources globally. Number one, to try to find a solution to the economic problems. Number three, each country present what it can offer the foreign direct investment. Number four, it's like a game or a match between all countries participating in Davos Forum. Which country can understand the mechanism of this forum and maximize its benefits from participation in this forum?
Yes.
So His Excellency Mr. el-Sisi, in fact, it's not judge, of course, to Mr. President, but it's my views that His Excellency, he controlled Mr. Donald Trump during the meeting together. Number one, it's a very rare meeting between Trump and his counterpart. I think Mr. el-Sisi, he controlled Mr. Trump and he forced him to respect the protocol.
There's always a very good relationship.
To respect the protocol of discussion between the president of the two states.
Yes.
This number one. Number two, I think it's very on personal level there is a good relation, because if you remember 2016 when Mr. Trump, he was a candidate, he met Mr. President, he was at that time in United States of America, and also Hillary Clinton, he met them.
Yes.
What the expectation of Mr. Sisi at that time? He mentioned to Mr. Trump, I'm sure that you are going to win the American election. At that time, the trend of Hillary, it was the majority, they are going to vote
for
Trump. For Hillary Clinton. And from that time, Mr. Trump, he still repeats this sentence, that Mr. Sisi is very wise. He has what we call, he has a vision for the future, and he understands the psychology of the people whom discussing in front of him. This number two.
Yes.
Number three, we prove to Mr. Donald Trump that Egypt is the main country in Middle East whom can control to achieve peace. And the foreign policy of Egypt, it's a very wise policy. It's a very balanced policy. And we concentrate on some dimension. First dimension, there is no division of any country, and we respect the border of all countries. Number two, we are aiming to achieve peace and economic development. Number three, we don't want to come in or to go in aggression or war with any neighboring countries. Number four, we appreciate very much the policy which can solve problems with through the table, through dialogue, through negotiation. So from this principle of Egyptian foreign policy, in fact, Mr. Trump, he respects His Excellency Sisi very much. And in the meantime, we are more than one decade or more than 10 years. We used to say what we say inside the rooms, we say outside.
Yes.
So there is no contradiction between what we mention inside and what we use to mention outside. So it will bring to you or create respect for your president, for your country, for your foreign policy. The point number four, related economic dimension, that as you maybe know, the volume of trade between Egypt and the United States of America, it's around $8.5 billion. We export 2.5 and we import around $6 billion from America. So you know we are out of the threat or the threat of Mr. Trump related the balance of trade or trade balance, because it's in favor of United States of America. This is number one. Number two, the accumulation of American investment in Egypt, it's around $10 billion. How many American companies investing in Egypt? According to their information, they mentioned 2,000 American companies investing in Egypt. What's the main sectors? It's in logistics, in new energy, industries, and in service sector. This the four main items of American investment in Egypt. Of course, the last point, which I don't want to shed more light, just I would like to brief in this point, related to military and security dimension. Of course, you know that most of our weapons, it's coming from United States of America, and in the meantime, we have the policy of not go to west or east, and we are very balanced between all of them. I would like to add another point related to the difference between Europe and America. In fact, we don't want to put our nose in these differences, and we respect the international law, and we respect the borders of all countries, and our aim just to realize peace, because any attempt or if there any mistake between superpower, it will be the end of the world. And we hope that the big leaders to be wise enough to understand this, and of going to war or aggression to go to peace and economic development.
Yes, Doctor, before moving on from the point of the U.S. and Egypt relations, as we did see over the past few years, the bilateral ties between Egypt and the United States, they have flourished under the tenures of both presidents, Sisi and Trump. The U.S. president always speaks of the Egyptian president very highly, and he says that he is a very dear friend. He's a very powerful leader. He's a good leader to his people, to the Egyptian people. The Egyptians love President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. How do you see those bilateral relations between Egypt and the United States under the leadership of both Presidents Sisi and Trump to be moving forward in the future on the diplomatic, on the political, and on the economic levels?
Okay, thank you for this point. You see, let me go one by one. Number one, this appreciation and respect between the two presidents, in fact, because of what? Because Mr. Trump, he has a big problems of Gaza Strip and Mr. Netanyahu and Palestinian cause. And since he came to his office 2016, he realized that Egypt tried to push all parties to avoid aggression and to go for dialogue. This is number one. Number two, always Egypt request from the United States of America to interfere and to make pressure on Netanyahu and his government to allow to come in the aid to Gaza Strip.
Yes.
Number three, you know, the main important point when Mr. Trump, he mentioned that Ethiopian dam and the right of Egypt to have its share of water from River Nile. This, it's a very important point which proved to all global or regional power that we should respect the international law, and we should respect the agreement which was signed in the past between the two countries. And in the meantime, this is a message to Ethiopian state to understand that states, United States, which built this dam, and in the meantime, it has the power to force the Ethiopian government to accept the condition. In fact, it's a very normal condition. We don't want to increase our share.
Justice.
And we need our share.
Yes.
This number one. Number two, we would like to cooperate together, even in electricity. Yes. And in the meantime, we are ready to buy electricity generated from the Ethiopian dam. And of course, this, it's a very sensitive point for Egypt. And in the meantime, Mr. Trump, he appreciates the wisdom of Egyptian government dealing with very sensitive cause like this. Yeah, because of what? This then the normal reaction for any country to attack Ethiopia. But we insist to go through a dialogue. We insist to go United Nations. We insist to request from superpower and power to interfere to solve this problem under one slogan. All of us are African, we are neighbor, and we should work for the welfare of African people. This is our slogan, and this is our policy toward our brother in Africa. I hope this message to be understood by Ethiopia and by our brother in Africa.
Yes, you've mentioned, Doctor, the importance of maximizing the benefits of any participating country at the World Economic Forum. Egypt being one of them. Have we succeeded in doing so?
Yes, of course. We succeeded by around 100%. Because of what? This year we upgrade the Egyptian participation.
Yes.
Before it was done by Minister of Planning or sometimes Prime Minister Dr. Madbouli. But in this time, His Excellency Mr. President, he participated by himself, and he was accompanied by Minister of Planning, Minister of Investment, Minister of Finance, and also there are some technicians attend this forum. Not only official people, but a lot of business people from banking sector and also from private sector. They participated in this forum. His Excellency Mr. President, as usual, he is very clever as a negotiator. In fact, what he mentioned that we did the following. Number one, we invest in infrastructure, and we spent more than 11 trillion Egyptian pound in infrastructure. Number two, we change a lot of laws in favor of foreign, to attract more foreign investment. Number three, we have a big market, and this market, it's not only 110 million population, but it's more than 1.5 billion population, because His Excellency mentioned we conclude a lot of free trade agreement with neighboring countries. So you have a huge market to export, free from custom duties, free from tax. Number four, we have a very clever tonnage in IT and AI, and this it will facilitate the mission of any foreign investment in Egypt. Number five, we have a unique location. We are in between all continents,
Yes.
and this lead you to minimize the cost of transportation. And in the meantime, we are very close to the source of raw material. Okay?
Incentives, all of those are incentives.
Yeah, in fact, but you know, that Egypt now, we have more than necessary condition. We reach to sufficient condition. Now, you have some advantage which your neighboring doesn't have, like skilled labor, unique location, free trade agreement with your neighbor, okay? And in the meantime, very stable security and very stable law. And in the meantime, we have our vision, which we implement the item of this vision 2030 in very good way.
Yes, Dr. Mongi Ali Badr, the Minister Plenipotentiary and the board member of the UN Association of Egypt. Thank you very much for being with us tonight on Money Means Business.
Thank you for you, and it was my honor, Ahmed Bey, and hoping to see you very soon.
The honor is all mine. And I will be leaving you with another report about the participation of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in the World Economic Forum, and his invitation to the CEOs and the global investors to be coming and visiting Egypt and seeing the incentives offered by the country to be getting more investments pumped into Egypt for the near future, and more specifically in the Suez Canal economic zone. We'll be having more details in the upcoming report. Thank you for watching, and I'll be seeing you next week.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi told some 70 international business leaders that the Egyptian economy has successfully absorbed major global shocks and is prioritizing private sector expansion through wide-ranging incentives and structural reforms. Speaking at a dialogue session on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum, President al-Sisi invited investors to capitalize on opportunities within the Egyptian market, citing the country's logistical capabilities and a legislative environment designed to facilitate business. Rani al-Mashat, Minister of Planning, Economic Development and International Cooperation, said that Egypt closed fiscal year 2024-2025 with an economic growth rate of 4.4%, while growth accelerated to 5.3% in the first quarter of fiscal year 2025-2026, surpassing initial expectations. She attributed this performance to solid expansion in the industrial sector, supported by strong momentum in tourism and the communications and information technology sector. In an interview, Al-Mashat noted that the tourism sector achieved record levels in both visitor numbers and revenues. She stressed that Egypt's growth model has become more diversified and is no longer dependent on a single sector. The Ministerial Group for Industrial Development has approved 2 manufacturing projects for chemicals and tires worth a total of $1.291 billion in investments and has issued 3 licenses to establish new cement factories. According to a Ministry of Trade and Industry statement during the group's 37th session, chaired by Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Industry and Transport Kamil El-Wazir, requests were reviewed and approved for 2 projects under the General Authority for Suez Canal Economic Zone. Greek Minister of Shipping and Insular Policy Vasilis Kikelias said Greece and Egypt are moving to deepen maritime cooperation as part of broader efforts to expand bilateral ties in shipping and port connectivity. The meeting, hosted at the premises of Greece's Ministry of Shipping, focused on strengthening institutional and operational coordination in maritime transport and accelerating work on new coastal shipping connections between the 2 countries.